Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Domains here. Sorry we're a little late popping on. I didn't click live hard enough, apparently, so that's super fun. So I hope everyone's week is going tremendous and everyone's enjoying the nice weather. Dad, what are you up to today?
Well, it's interesting. It's kind of like the calm between the storms, I guess. There's nothing really
I'm
major happening.
the
There's a
opposite.
little bit of a Bitcoin run. There was a little bit of Ethereum, or the ENS token for .eth domains is on a little run. The economy is trying to figure out what it's doing. AI is the biggest thing in domains, but it's kind of so there's really not a big, it's kind of time to build for a lot of people that are
Yeah,
building applications, building communities, building domains. They're hard at work working.
I've been using this
And
time to kind of understand AI and automations. I've been working on that for like 4 hours today, so.
yes, I actually stopped calling it AI internally between me, myself, and myself. I call it AT, automated task, because I feel like AI for me isn't doing anything that I couldn't do if I had unlimited time and patience. I just want it to do it for me. But
Right.
I'm not asking it to actually like I can't say what's the best domain name I should buy today.
I wouldn't try. Yeah.
Now I could say take these 1,000 words that are the most popular. Look at them in com, AI, XYZ, and net. If the com is if all four are available, then I don't want any of them. And if
Yeah.
all four are taken, fine, and so you have to kind of tell it what you want, and then it's awesome.
I mean, I
Um,
use it a lot whenever I'm writing my social media posts for my blog posts. I have it, hey, here's my blog post, come up with an SEO optimized Instagram and Twitter and Facebook post. And then to do like the HTML back writing, I have it do that for me. Now, I would take that with a grain of salt because it's not always the most up to date, but it's been pretty helpful in getting my keywords and kind of rewording things to
yeah,
make sure
and I
I have my
think
title in my blog post and all that stuff.
in programming, it must be amazing where you have a lot of. I almost think of programming sometimes as like a graphic artist in the old days, like
Yeah.
someone working at Disney where they had to draw Mickey like this, and then they had to draw Mickey like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then to be able to just have it have it do it automatically would be really good. So
Well, it's been great using Zapier. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with it, but it's an automation software. And in the past, I'm trying to get it to do like these things that it's not. I don't know. It's essentially like, okay, tell the AI what you want it to do, and then it'll walk you through the process and how to do it. And it's saving me from learning how to code essentially because I don't code, and so it's been great for that. So
yeah,
I've been enjoying it. Well, Dad, do you want to start off with a question?
sure.
More than SEO, I came across a type of domain name called STR domains, which appears to have some similarity of Web3 domains. If you're familiar with these, are there any pros and cons? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them. I know that the thing about branding is you want to take something that exists and you want to brand it your own. So STR. So I don't know if STR is a class of domain names or if it's a company's implementation of it. So I'll look into it and try to be ready for you next week. STR domains. So far in the domain space, and I am going to shout out and compliment our sponsor, Freename. The Freename platform's been going for about 14 months, 15 months, maybe even a year and a half. And because of that, they've gone through their early growth, and now they're adding new things like the new reseller pages, custom pricing, the Noto protocol, the download of the extension. And I think a lot of other projects I'm noticing that were announced, Julie, even as far back as the Domainer Expo when we were there,
Yeah.
that some of the things that they've intentioned still haven't come out fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
Good.
have to say, kind of like, let me know when it's out and it's ready. Like, I want to go to the restaurant and have dinner. I don't want to know that, hey man, you should totally see how we are going to prep our coleslaw. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I'm kind of like, because there's always a sense when the developers get done with it that it still needs some work. You know what I mean? So I'll check out STR domains. Our other he's hyping his own reseller page.
I
Let's take
know.
a
All
look
right,
at it.
let's go look at. Can we look at it?
Yeah,
'Cause
let's do it.
I did promise that if people posted their reseller pages in our comments that we would look at them because we want to be able to feature that because that's an awesome part of Freename and an awesome part of Web3 as a whole. So, Dad, you make chitter chatter for 5 minutes while I get this all pulled up. Or do you want to pull it up? Actually, do you want to pull it up and share your screen? Because
Yeah, let's do that. Let me go to.
Now, for all of those who don't know everything, because that's obviously not me, this link, this looks like a Web 2 link.
It is a Web 2 link, and that's what's exciting about it.
That's what I thought. That's very cool. I'm going to turn us to sideways. Sorry for my friends on mobile. I finally put us on portrait mode, but now I'm going to turn us sideways. Oh, well, never mind. We're stuck on portrait.
So what this is, just to give you an idea, is when you sell a Web3 domain, and again, we're saying a Web3 domain is a domain name, but it's not part of the approved extensions from ICANN. And so, but at the same point, you can't own a new extension with ICANN. You have to wait 2 more years and pay up to $1 million. So it's like, would you rather own something and have to build your own universe, you know what I mean, for people to see it, or not be able to have something and having to buy all the TLDs that are out there now, which you can't own. You have to actually pay.
Yeah.
To buy domain names, you pay, and then you hope to resell them for more. If you're the TLD owner, like in this case, .private wallet, if people want to have a .private wallet, they pay for that, and you get the revenue from it. So it's your job to market it. So you're much better off marketing it to people on a Web 2 website where they can see it now, and then they can buy their domain name in a Web 2 website, and then they're able to mint it and have it be seen in Web 3. But what Freename has done is they've created these pages. And Julie, I feel like there's got to be a way to do this.
You mean to get the whole page on there?
Yeah.
So
but anyway, what they've basically done is they've created these pages for you with a description and sample domains and AI, and it's pretty good. Let's see. We got more than SEO again. For Freename domains, is there any Web3 hosting with outputs a URL which has RTLD in it? Fleek outputs, which is Fleek branded, but Unstoppable. I don't know if I'm smart enough to understand that question. I like the concept of it, which is they can put the very beginnings of these new TLDs. I was involved with a plan called NewNet back in 2002. And what they did was you bought like page.golf. And then what they did was they created page.golf.new.net. So it was a Web 2 TLD. And then that's what a lot of systems do is they create the illusion of a Web 3 TLD, and then they just convert it into a URL that they already own. You know, like Freename wanted to, they could make everyone's domain name be like pagehow.v.freename.io, you know. But that really goes against the idea that you want to feel like you own pagehow.v, you know what I mean? And not be tricking people, but you do forward it. So I'm not sure I have an answer to that.
Yeah, question. I'm not sure I necessarily understand the question either, but I'm also not the smartest person on this live show. That's okay.
But what I still think the key is going to be for Web3 TLDs and Web3 domain names is in an existing community that exists on Web 2, advertise content that you can only get by downloading the extension and going to a Web3 domain name. That is the way. Either put up a game or put up an image or put up some information or some data, or even if we did Monday Night Domains and we said, you know, next week you're not going to be able to see Monday Night Domains unless you go to mondaynightdomains.metaverse. You know what I mean?
I'd miss you guys so much.
And then that they would have to download the plugin. But once they did, and they realized it didn't hurt, it didn't mess up their machine, and then they typed in julie.girlypop, and then a new website that they'd never been able to see before, they can now see. Then you can picture how you can own a top level domain name in these new worlds. You know what I mean? It's like a hidden Easter egg in a video game. And the reason that we feel, as opposed to the domain industry, that that's not that big of a hurdle, given the benefits that you get, is that people are downloading apps all the time to get exclusive content. Netflix, Apple TV, Amazon TV. You know what I mean? You're used to
food deal. I have it because I have the app.
Right. So that extra step, but the freedom to then have a domain name that's not in the existing registrar world, that's really become frustrating, and to not have renewals. So you own your land without any property taxes. You own your land on the blockchain. And when you think about it, you're not always going to have to think about, oh my gosh, I got to do something with that by the time the next renewal comes around next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the same point, if you're a TLD owner like me with .v,
and me with .girlypop,
and you with .girlypop, when people buy in, the easiest thing for them to do is to say, well, I want to wait because I don't want to buy it and then have to pay renewals. But if there's no renewals, then you can take a little more risk because you're buying anything that these TLDs and domain names can become in the next 5 or 10 years, and you're not going to have to pay each year. And in some ways, there's a phrase, having a horse in the race. You know what I mean? You can't win the Kentucky Derby unless you have a horse in the Kentucky Derby. And just having a domain and knowing either you could make it something or someone else could want your name and offer you money for it, to know you have a horse in the race, and that when you bought it, you were okay with that investment, but you're not having to pay anymore, is a pretty big deal. But you're never going to hear the registrars like GoDaddy or VeriSign or anyone tell you it's a good deal because they want you to keep paying renewals.
So, Dad, I think you touched on something really important about 6 minutes back when you said people download the browser and they realize that nothing bad happens. And we've talked a lot on this show and in general in real life about building a trustworthy relationship with the customer, because a lot of people right now in domain marketing are, oh, I sold the domain, done. Don't care what happens then. Registrars are like, oh, well, we can say we're this, but like, do we really have to do anything? Because they've already bought the name, over with. And so I think that's a really important part of Web3 as a community, as people who have investments in it, making sure it's growing, is we have to make sure we're doing trustworthy business, or else it's going to make the whole Web3 look bad. Because it's already, Web3 doesn't look great because of some activities that go on there that don't represent.
Yeah, like meme coins right now. You know, you put out a tweet, it goes up, people sell, they go away. And in some cases, Web3 domains, even though you might want to buy one that's popular, you still have an asset, a working domain name. It's not just, is your coin going up super fast or going down super fast?
Like we're all building the basis for Web3 to make or break. Like as much as the big companies, it is on them. It's on us to make sure we're doing trustworthy, good, reliable business and selling a product that's worth it, or else it's not.
And treat our customers well so that they won't come in, get burned, and say, I'm never doing Web3 for 20 years.
So I
think that's what happened to the domain market, right, Julie? That's why it got skipped you, because you just heard domainers are cyber squatters, all the good domains are taken, you know, and that permeated generations.
Yeah, no, whatever I would talk, I didn't realize this until I grew up a little bit and people started looking into their own investments, but I would be, oh yeah, like I work in domain names. I heard quote like, aren't those people who just sit around and like scam people? No. Yeah. Some of you, yes. And some of you.
But on the other hand, Squarespace, one of the companies that just bought Google domains, they just got taken out, meaning a private equity company paid $6 billion for this company that sells domains and websites. So a domain, you know, can be anywhere from $10 to $100 to $1,000. And a website now for many companies is $30 to $40 a month. You're paying for your hosting, but you're also paying for a website builder, even though you may not change your website that month. And what you'll be hearing from Julie and I later in this year, because we think that especially in a recession, people may not want to keep paying that much. So we found a way, okay, I won't tell you anymore, but we found a way where you can save some money versus what you're paying now. Let's see. What do we have for more of this?
Away. Oh,
What's
no.
that?
I don't think I remember the way we found to save some money.
We're going to find a place where you can have a website creator and a 5-page website for $20 a year.
We found a way. We found the best way.
We found a way.
Unless you use my affiliate code, because I've got one of those too. So that is top secret information for those who want my code.
Because we're not going to leave you alone to build your website and get your free email. We're going to show you how we did it so that you can do it. And then we're going to, build, we're all about community. So we're going to build a place where people can say, I'm trying to do it too. This didn't work. And even though you can always go to the company for support, sometimes you want to ask questions like, well, what should I do next? Or what type of site should I build? Or how can I make money off my site? And that's what hopefully we can help everybody.
There's a reason Reddit's so successful is because it's essentially that, but we can get a more specialized version of that where you're just getting, because you're going to get actual unbiased advice for the most part. Now Reddit's all biased and ads.
But if you can create a TLD with, constant domain sales, it's a great one. Well, let's see. We're going to end a little early tonight at 7:30. But what do you have for questions? What do you have, Julie?
Okay. More than SEO. Finally got Freename reseller page to rank in Google. Congrats.
Wow.
Example, college football domains for sale, but we don't yet have control of the reseller SEO page on meta tags. Once we do that, will be great. Wait, so which one did you get to rank in Google it? If you're listening, go ahead and comment, and I would love to know I would love to show that, because that's really, really, really cool. Because I don't know how much SEO control you get in a reseller page. I think that's what they're saying.
Right. But it's also you can always create your own website, and then at the very end, when you have a call to action, you can link to your reseller page. Right. So in that regard, you can build either on Card or the website builders or whatever. You can build a website that you can control the meta tags and the links and all that stuff. And then the way you use the reseller page is when you have the call to action, buy them now, then they go to that site. So
Google search college football. Oh, should be number 1. Okay, that's impressive. College football domain. Dad, you want to share your screen and show us?
I don't see it.
Did you Google it?
I don't see it.
You Googled college football domains for sale?
Yeah, but I didn't see the Freename page.
Well, that's okay.
All right, but I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's never done this one before. Okay. Is there a Web3, great question, is there a Web3 domain value appraisal tool besides Dad's brain?
I don't think there is. Ishmaeli tried to start one, and this is an area where everyone wants there to be one, but someone's going to have to go create one. And this is where in Web3, you don't have to ask permission. You just go do it. And so I think it would be some combination of AI, some combination of the popularity of different words, some existing data that exists on selling and word use. There's an interesting thing that I always wanted to use if I ever did an appraisal tool, which is I think there's some sites out there that like Google that will search the text of like all books or all movie scripts or something. And they can tell you what words are most often seen together. You know what I mean? And so when you get into words that are like 2 words, like fire station, you know what I mean? That's really 2 words, but it's also like 1 word, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's one simple thought as a fire station, you know what I mean? And firehouse may be 1 word, but fire station. And so I think the data's out there. It's just who's going to do. Well, and I heard a term last week called open ocean.
Okay.
You ever heard that word, Julie? Open ocean?
I mean, it's in Finding Nemo.
But open ocean means you're coming up with a product that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
And when you try to describe it to people, they want you to describe it by saying what's been done before. And you're saying, I'm going like Columbus into an open ocean to create something that hasn't been created. And we won't know if it works until I create it.
Yeah.
But once it does work, everyone's going to say, oh, I would have done that. I would have done that. But they wouldn't because they needed to see it happen. So
I think
this is where you want to go out and create something new and then already have in mind a way to monetize it, whether it be like a link, like if you had a domain appraisal tool and then you wanted to say, hey, buy domains at Freename, you can get a link where you make 15% of whatever people buy at Freename. So you'd want to either do affiliate links or you'd want to charge people maybe tokens for each appraisal. But yeah, I think in Web3, all this stuff is out there to still invent. So I encourage everyone to get creative or download the extension, get a Web3 domain name, understand what it is enough to be able to tell a programmer what you want to do. You know what I mean? Instead of having to, you want to be able to give them some thing. So I think there's a phrase that a friend of mine used on a space last week about finding out about a new investment. He goes, invest and then investigate. So some people will do that. They'll buy something first and then they'll go try to figure it out.
I'm not going to put that on a poster, but I'll write it on a post-it note.
There you go.
But I think as that question, because it is an open ocean where there's a whole world of opportunity, there's a lot of people that are really good at training bots, and it doesn't seem to be that hard. And I wonder if you can just train a bot to like teach it all of the analysis tools used, like all the give it a place to find the data, like, oh, this word is used next to another word, like give it all of that and then give it access to this word is used. And you can even relate it back to Web 2 and just be like, okay, this word is used in this many Web 2 domains in general. And I'm sure those tools.
Or even Julie, remember way back when you were just a little tiny girl and you were studying, think about like your word power, your when you learned English words. I always thought that would be a good way to say, what was a valuable word? Is it a first grade word or a second grade word or a third grade word? You know what I mean? Because it would be like, this is a word that most education systems around the world are learning in the first grade. That's probably going to be a real basic word, you know what I mean, with a lot of applications. So any data that you can find that ranks words on their popularity, the other things people use are, what is the amount that you pay Google to advertise for a certain word? And obviously that's a good way to say you have a word and a domain name with a word that isn't that powerful. But if it's weddingrings.com, it's both popular and the average price of a wedding ring is $6,000 to $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now ringtones or something like that only go for 11 cents, even if they have a high search volume, you know, it's kind of, and so I think that's a way to get it into the appraisal.
And Justin, we also occasionally do appraisals on Monday Night Domains, so we can be an appraisal tool if you want to come back.
And I also do them on Fridays in the Freename Telegram chat. All right, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put this in again. College football domains for sale.
And then he has another question. I think it's a great question. I'm going to go ahead and just touch on anything where you're saving people money is enough for them to download an app, in my opinion.
I don't get it right now, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow and look at it again and see if I see that Freename sale. All right, Julie.
We got one more.
Okay.
For the exclusive content to entice someone to download the Freename app, what types of unique content are you seeing to be compelling enough for first-time people to take action?
So I'm thinking about this for my .v, my planet.v. And what I'm thinking about is something like is gamification and prizes. You know what I mean? Like if you say of the next 20 people that come and sign up for the .v newsletter, and you can only sign up for the .v newsletter on newsletter.v. So they have to get the plugin, go to newsletter.v, and then sign in. And then I'll say, and for one of those 20 people, for one of them, I'm going to award $30 in that they can use to buy another free .v domain name. So I think when you get down to what'll make people go for something, it's either compelling content. So, make a video, like if I made a really cool, like 4-minute movie about the planet.v, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that would be like, you may want to see it, you may not want to see it, but to see it, I'm going to draw the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
going to have to know the secret password and the secret handshake. But once people download the Freename extension or plug in once, they can see not only all of .v, so I can have a site that says, here's 5 other .v websites. Then I can also have a site that says, here's 5 other Freename websites in Julie Jules, in Metaverse, in all those ones. And so I think that it's either compelling content that people want to see, some type of prize, or data, really good data.
Yeah. I would say I would take the same approach as like an email marketing campaign where because more than SEO, you are extremely knowledgeable about what you do. You have the credibility of having your site ranked number 1 on Google. So I would say like maybe make a guide to how to get that done, how to give them exclusive knowledge to something or monetary value. I think that's going to be one of the best ways, because that is statistically one of the best ways to do it in email marketing campaigns. To get
like if I was in the domain space, Julie, what we're talking about here is the Matt did send me a thing. There it is, Freename. Buy college football Web3 domain in just 1 click. Boom.
Boom.
All right, I'm going to spread that on social media.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about the data is, like, say you did make up your list of the top 500 words to be in a domain name. Then I would say say your TLD was .domain research, you know what I mean? The people would have to get, either you could do what's called token gating, I don't know exactly how to do this, but there's a world where you could say you have to have a .domain research domain name to see the content, that I'm putting up. And so I just think it's compelling content that's new, better, or different. And it just gets people over that little hurdle to see. And once they have the extension for that person, Freename domains, TLDs are just as good. They're not just as good. Maybe you can't have email to them. There's some little things, but you've introduced them to a world that's different. And I just think in the future that the innovation is going to come in the Web3 world that has the least amount of restrictions. And Web 2 will always be here. We will always have these webinars on a Web 2 website. That's where 99.999% of all content is on the internet. But they don't let me own it the way I want to own it. They don't let me be a player. They don't give me the power. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'll end with that, Julie. Great show tonight.
Yes. Great show, everybody. I will see you guys next week for Monday Night Domains. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, SEO. I'm going to retweet that later today and talk about how the reseller pages are indexed by Google. That's great stuff.
And next week, if you guys want to tag your Freename reseller page as FN Reseller, we'll put it on the show. We'll give you some advertisement, and we will show off the Freename reseller pages.